Hello everybody, welcome back to Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. It's Friday night and we're doing some live tarot readings. Welcome back. Thank you guys, for those of you guys who have been waiting in the chat, for being patient. I appreciate it. I had to move some time schedules around a little bit tonight, but it's all good. I am really excited to be here with you guys reading tarot tonight. Those of you guys who are new to my channel, welcome. I am a Western evolutionary astrologer and a tarot reader, and every Friday night we hang out and we do live readings, whether it is tarot or astrology. This week it happens to be tarot. How's everybody doing in the chat? It's nice to see you guys. Hey Kristen, hey Kurt, hey Sam, Angeli, Rachel. I know we got a couple people who already started purchasing readings. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. I've got you in the queue. We always start with the VIP members. Those of you guys who are subscribed to my channel for level 3, you get one reading a month. People like Paula, Sam, JLo, Loriana, Emma R. You guys are all subscribers, so thank you guys for subscribing. But our level 3s are going to be Paula, Sam. You guys are going to be the first on the top of the list to get a reading. If you want to get a reading with me and support the channel, check out my links below. Check out all of my levels for my membership. You can get in on level 1 just to support. Level 2 is going to be a shout out, and level 3 you get one reading on my live once a month, whether you have a question about astrology or you have a question that pertains to what the cards have to say. So I saw Sam's here. Hey JLo. Let me know if you have a question, Paula or Sam. It is the beginning of the month, so if you guys have a question, I'm happy to give you your reading now. Just let me know. Otherwise, those of you guys who are looking to get a reading, we're doing 1 card for 20 and we're doing 3 cards for 40. So once we are finished with our level 3 members, who just got a couple people, if they want their readings, then I'm happy to do your reading. So let me know, Paula, if you would like yours now, or Sam. Otherwise, we've got a couple people in the queue. We've got Angeli, we'll get with you in just a second, and Kurt, thank you guys for your purchase. How's everybody doing with the energy? Like the last 2 days have been like, ugh, I'm ready to get out of the Leo vortex. And it's not even new moon yet. I guess maybe it's because the moon made its opposition to Pluto earlier today, so it's been definitely a lot of confronting demons, right? A lot of confronting fears. So we're just coming into the new moon that's going to be happening in the next day or so, Leo. If you guys haven't checked out the rest of my channel, every Monday I do a live show and I talk about the astrology for the week. I talked a little bit about this impending new moon in Leo. Check it out. It is a doozy. It's definitely setting the stage for the next 30 days to be different. There's going to be a lot of changes going on, a lot of curveballs being thrown. All right, Paula, let's see your question. Yeah, you can ask it privately. You should be able to send it to me privately. I believe there's a way to be able to do that. I think you can hide it when you put everything in the chat box. You can hide your comment and I will see it. I don't think anybody else will see it, so you can do that. So many fears involving a Leo. You know, it's so funny. I have a ton of planets in Scorpio, and the squares that have set up have literally been between Tauruses, Aquariuses, and Leos. It has literally played out that way for me, so it's really interesting. Especially, I was watching, I'm trying to think of who it was. There was another astrologer that was chatting recently about, because we know all about Lionsgate and everything that shifts with planets going into those degrees of Leo, but not a lot of people talk about the other gates, like the Bull gate at 15 of Taurus, or the Eagle's gate at 15 of Scorpio, and then there's one for Aquarius. I don't remember the name of it, but I didn't realize that those were such prominent fixed degrees, and so it makes a lot of sense that there's just a lot of change coming for people who have planets in those degrees. Angry with self-undoing, deciding to return here after death. The cards have been really jumpy. I was playing with them earlier, and there's just a lot of stuff that's jumping out. So let's see. Paula, did you figure out how to ask me that question privately? If not, let me know. Let me know. I can always pull it up in a different way. Maybe you can send it to me via email. I don't know how else you can send that to me. Oh no, broke your wrist out of work. Bummer. Do you have a question for me, Sam? Let me know, because I want to start with you guys. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to everybody else who's on the list. Oh, okay, there you are. I'll give you my email next time, so that way if you, maybe we'll post that so you can send it for people who want it to be private. Started a course, has to do with my boxes, getting in the right direction. Adron is leaving for work soon. Well, that's good to hear. So let's see what you need to know about that. Hello, Rainbow. All right, Paula, let's see what you need to know about some of these courses. I'm excited to hear that you're getting your boxes going. Next time you can always just shoot it to me on Skype, Paula. Just let me know, and I have your info, so I can always check that out. So let's see what you need to know about these courses with your boxes. Ooh. What's interesting about this is that to me, it seems like, first of all, all of the movement in these cards seem very busy, okay? Seven of Wands reversed is like about figuring out the direction that you're going in, finding your angle, coming up with your strategy, really thinking about, you know, how do I get on top? Like, how do I get more exposure? How do I get people's interest? Like, how do I actually get people to get more traction? And I also feel like this is about you going in a different direction. Like, you're adding something different to it. You're seeing something that you really didn't imagine before. Like, there's some new aspect. I bet I do like it with the Seven of Cups, because the Seven of Cups makes me feel like there is a blend of energy, where I know we talked before, there was some aspect of you like bringing in, whether it's like gifts or wine, or like creating like these boxes or these like baskets. When now you're getting more creative, you're going further out, you're adding some aspect of illusion, creativity. You're looking at all of the different variations of things that you can create. Seven of Cups is still a watery energy, so it might be that you're incorporating wine and crystals, right? Or something that's more creative or even like metaphysical. But the Seven of Cups is like all of the dream ideas that you're taking and you're starting to funnel into this project, and you're thinking about all of the different things that you can create. This is also about actually going further with things. I see the Seven of Cups as being like, well, I don't want to find myself too limited. I want to color outside the lines. I want to do things that are going to be a little bit more whimsical or a little bit more fun. Perhaps something that you dreamed about or something that you were kind of envisioning that's very different. This is also about taking risks and taking chances and kind of throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks. So I don't really see you going into this state of like really launching something that might be 7 weeks or even like 7 months away. But there's some aspect of you redeveloping the direction where you're going, and perhaps even where you're selling it to, and learning more about like either the marketing or the expansion of like getting it out there and getting more traction. Judgment reverse is saying like you haven't made a decision yet, you haven't made your mind up yet. Maybe you're taking this course, you're feeling it out before you really take the leap of faith and you make some changes. I love that sevens are coming up for you, because that tells me that there's some aspect of needing assistance or partnership from other people. Other people are coming in to kind of talk to you about either the aesthetic, the branding, the brand development, how things look, and partnerships, opportunities to like partner with people. Whether that's just people giving you advice and people helping you with the process, or meeting people along the way who are like, hey, this is a great idea. You need this, this, and this tweak. How can I help you? Like, let's do it together. So I'm interested, like, how has this changed? And what are you incorporating? I know this sounds really weird, but like, I almost feel as if these different boxes that you're creating, they might have themes. Like when I see the Seven of Cups, I can't help but think about like wine and paint night, right? Like maybe you get a box or a bag that has some paintbrushes, or you know, some watercolors or some other things, and like some fancy glasses and like a bottle of wine. It's something about creativity and illusions, and also the idea of like indulging in something. So there's a merger. This can also be talking about stuff that helps relaxation, sleep, bath time. anything that pertains to meditation. So there's something like that that's going on where you're kind of bringing more of like I said, a whimsical element into this. You don't need to make any major decisions yet. Like, go through the course, feel it out, see how you like it, see how it works, see what you can take from it, and like really kind of expand on what your ideas are already. And then the Judgment card reversed is saying like you're really assessing everything before you like really kind of pull the trigger and make a more serious decision about what this entire project is going to look like, or if there's enough momentum behind it, if there's a good enough idea behind it to like really see it through. Okay, well, you're still weighing those options. It needs a little bit more time. If I were to look at this in the other direction, I also see this more about being like you. It's like, okay, like husband or partner is away, so now I can play, now I can create, like I can get focused. And really redirecting the energy back to yourself and giving yourself an opportunity for 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months to really kind of reassess everything that you're doing before you come back to the relationship and go, okay, are we on the same wavelength? Are we going in the same direction? You got a lot of Sag and Gemini in your chart, Paula. I've talked to you long enough to know that these are high adventure times in terms of really weighing things out and bringing the energy back to you, which is kind of ironic that, you know, you've got a lot of Gemini in your 7th house Sag, but the North Node is saying it's back to how you communicate your ideas, what you're doing. And so almost not like stepping away from the partnership, but getting to a point where you're like, you know what, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. I can't focus on this anymore. I need to be more focused on myself. So if that's where you feel yourself going, stay in your lane. Trust me on this. It looks good. It looks positive. And I feel like it's definitely going to have a little bit more of a flair than maybe the concept had to begin with. So let me know. Let me know. Let's see here. Every time I try to go out. Okay. So Sam, did you have a question for me? Thank you, Crystal Colorist. I appreciate your donation. I'm sorry to hear about your wrists. I know that that's a bummer. Been there, done that. I have broken my wrists before too. That's not fun. Definitely the universe's way of trying to get you to slow down. Hey Lucas, how's it going? All right, so I will pull a card for you, Crystal Colorist. I appreciate your donation. I know you're having a tough time. I want to help a girl out. Let's see what the cards have to say of any direction in terms of what's going on with you right now. 2 of Swords. Sometimes the tarot can just be like an asshole, right? Like it's very much a thing. Like this is when the tarot cards come out and they're just like really between the eyes. 2 of Swords, 2 wrists, locked, reversed, can't do anything, right? This is an opportunity for you to redirect your energy. What's going on right now is it's time to take a break. Okay, especially like any anxiety revolving around what's next, what direction am I going in, what should I be working on? There's almost the need with those aces to stop and reassess and think. This is a mental card. If you're constantly in a negative state of thinking or a fear of where you're going or not knowing how to make a decision or being indecisive, if there's anything going on like that, like now you're being limited in what you can physically do. Like you can't do anything. I know it's challenging, but it's trying to get you to kind of settle and ground your energy and really focus and clear a lot of the mental static and anything that's really hindering you from being able to think clearly or make a decision. To me, it seems more about thinking and processing and making choices about where you're going before taking any action. Maybe you were, kind of going in all different directions or kind of being a little indecisive about what direction your life was going in. So now you're kind of like locked in a sense, right, of not being able to do anything physically or manually with your hands. So you're actually going to take time to stop and think. I wonder how long it's going to take to recover from something like that. Like it's not going to be 2 weeks. It's a broken wrists, 2 months maybe. It may also really put the emphasis on you learning more, listening more. I think of like the Swords as like audio, so it's how you communicate. It's not doing, it's not writing, it's listening, it's speaking, it's mantras. There's definitely going to be like a lot of audiobooks and things that you're going to be listening to that are helping you kind of get more so in this state of manifesting, first in a mental sense. It's challenging, man. I remember when I broke my wrist. It just makes me, especially if you did it when you were like roller skating, that's rough because that's a pretty heavy fall if you broke both of those wrists. Just waiting on Stan. That's it for our members. I'm going to pop on over to the PayPal. If you send me a PayPal, just let me know because sometimes your guys' username is very different than what comes up in the chat. So I'm going to start with, here we go. There we go. Angeli asks, I did a photo and social media cleanup and from items with the recent ex-boyfriend. Apparently he did the same too. How is he feeling about this situation? Were the photos tagged? That's really what I want to know. Were they tagged? I wonder if you did it first and then he did it. Let's find out. Let's get to the bottom of the situation. Angeli, what sign are you? What sign are they? Mind me asking? So the question is, how is he feeling about this situation? Thank you, Rachel. Well, here's how I see it. First of all, these aren't bad cards. These are pretty positive. I did it first on Facebook and he did it on everything else. I was going to say, because it looks almost like you blew it out of the water, you know, like the sun card coming up is just really highlighting some aspect of being like, I'm doing good, I'm doing great. Like it doesn't seem to me like it was just removing photos of the ex-boyfriend. It seems like it was like removing photos or anything that doesn't feel like the old identity or doesn't feel like you anymore. Does that make sense? Because when I see the sun card come up, it's like the sun comes out, the clouds part, the birds are chirping, anything where you feel like there was either bad lighting or you weren't really being your authentic self or you feel like you've changed so much since then. Sometimes it's like, it could be as silly as being like, I changed my hair color, I got a tan, I'm feeling fitter, I'm feeling more attractive, whatever. Like going and like clearing out photos in general that you just don't resonate with anymore. And the Two of Wands reverse is interesting because I feel like he definitely does check. Like he has checked intermittently to kind of come in and be like, okay, is there still an opportunity there? Is that door still open? Is she still there? Is there still a connection? Is there a possibility? Are we going to talk again? Are we going to connect again? The Two of Wands reverse is saying like there's nothing to see here. Like, and I think it's kind of interesting that you did not block him. I think it's really important that you did not block him because the Two of Wands is a card that's about remaining open, but really kind of showing that you're moving in a different direction. And I think sometimes with like breakups, that's like some of the best things that you can do is like, I feel like sometimes if you're blocking somebody, you're sending a message that's just like, oh, I don't want you to see my life, when in reality, it shouldn't fucking matter. So Two of Wands is like, okay, I'm moving forward, but that door's shut and I'm moving on without you and like on to bigger, better things. It does talk about your vision though, and that to some extent there was kind of like a wait and see, seeing if he was going to like actually, you know, respond to this. He did. Wheel of Fortune reversed is also kind of saying like to some extent, I do see him maybe taking a little bit of a break or a hiatus from Instagram or Facebook. I mean, has he been posting recently? Because I feel like with the Two of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune reverse, like that's that feeling of him being like, oh, like he sees you're doing well and maybe you're out and doing things and posting videos or stories and even traveling or going places. Like the Wheel of Fortune can deal with like you living your best life and him being like, oh, what's going on? The Wheel of Fortune reverse is also talking about a series of small victories and that it's not always, like you may not always feel like it's necessary to like put all of your, you know, life on blast or put everything that you're doing on blast. And that to some extent it's like, yeah, you're doing better, but you know, you're not really showing all of your life and that there is some need for you to kind of like protect some of that and keep some of that sacred. I'm just catching up with your comments. Good for me. Did remove him from my Facebook posts. Okay. Yeah, he checks it for sure. Like, for sure. One thing I'll tell you is that I do get the impression that there is a possibility that he circles back around like closer to like Sag season and that there may be something that comes up where it's like he tries to follow you again or maybe he goes and he likes pictures or like right now, no. And like for the immediate next 2 weeks, 2 months, you're not going to see much. But I do get the impression with the Wheel of Fortune is like to really look for what happens when we're completing some of these Sagittarius eclipses at the end of this year or the Gemini eclipses at the end of this year. there's going to be something that's going to happen. Although we're done with Gemini, so we're moving into Taurus, but I think there's going to be one more, either completing full moon, probably. Now that I think about it, the full moon in Gemini. So yeah, when we get into Sag season. But I have a feeling you're going to go somewhere, you're going to be doing something, and he's going to see something. So I really don't think that you're going to hear too much of him until the end of this year. But to me, it seems like you sent the message. The door is closed. I'm moving on. I'm good. The Sun card, I feel like, is really kind of showing more aspects in regards to like what makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled, spending time with friends, things that you enjoy, getting outside. Like there's going to be a lot of photos like that, but not a lot of like your inner personal life. Yeah, new energy. Exactly. Yeah. And he sees that. He got the message, and it's going to take some time. To be honest with you, though, I think that, like I said, I mean, you're kind of better off having moved on, because it does seem like there was a total energy shift, like just with the idea of getting rid of the pictures of him. Something very therapeutic about that, right? Like just deleting all of the images. But it looks good. It looks like you're doing really well and you're responding well from it. Just watch out when you hear something at the end of this year. Instagram ruins lives. There's some truth to that. Hopefully that was helpful for you, Angeli. So let's take a look here. We've got Kurt. Let me switch decks. What needs to happen for a new relationship to come into my life? That's a good question. Let's take a look. Love to declutter. Declutter all those trash men, girl. All right, so let's see what Kurt needs to know about love coming into his life. Here's some more Two of Swords action for you, courtesy of my asshole tarot decks this evening. All right, so here's the deal, Kurt. I have a question. Are you there? Hopefully you're there. What is going on? Are you hung up on somebody? Are you still hung up on a girl? Is there a girl that you're like trying to move on from, and it's like no matter what you do, like you're trying to remain open to somebody new, but like this idea of her keeps coming back, or you keep thinking about her? Have you found it challenging to move on from the fact that you didn't get the girl doesn't respond to you, she hasn't come back around? You know, the Queen of Cups reverse can make me feel like there's been some aspect of yourself that's been on hold because you're either waiting for somebody to return, or you're wondering, or you've been wondering, or maybe emotionally you've been in some turmoil because you went back and forth waiting for somebody to come around and they may not have. Let me know. Two of Swords obviously is like feeling that anxiety that, what do I do? I can't, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I try to move forward. Like to me, this seems kind of like remnant of, you know, no matter what you do, it's hard to move forward and forget somebody, or maybe looking for that person in other people, or keep expecting or hoping that you're going to meet somebody who's going to take your mind off of somebody else. Not necessarily feeling it's challenging to move on, but I daydream about someone from the past a lot. Kurt, no mas. You can't do this. Like this is holding up the process. There's something going on where there's almost like romanticizing this woman who definitely was a thing at one point. But I want you to take the bitch off the pedestal for a second, okay? I love you. I say this lovingly, but it's like this has to happen. This has to happen. Thank you, Angeli. Welcome to level 3. But Kurt, listen, okay? This is literally fucking with your mind right now. Like it's like you move forward, you move back, you move forward, you move back. I want you to find somebody who's completely different than this person. There's nothing wrong with this person, but I want you to find somebody completely different. If she's a blonde, I want a brunette. You get what I'm saying? If she's somebody who's like super into anime, like I want you to go and find like a sporty girl. Like I want you to go the complete opposite of the spectrum. Here's why. I want you to experience contrast, and I want you to see the difference between what you had and what is available for you. With the Two of Swords, it's like saying like, I don't know how to, like I'm used to kind of being in this perpetual pattern of wanting this specific type of person, or just that person in general, feeling stuck mentally and like maybe kind of like anxious. It's like, okay, well, what if I move forward and I meet somebody else? Like, are they going to be as good as her? Like, there's way too much mental friction that's going on that's really not allowing you to make a decision and move forward. Here's what's cool. Page of Swords is coming up. So it's saying like there is an opportunity for you to start the process of talking to somebody new, right? For you to like be venturing out into the world again and starting to talk to women, or getting involved in an interest, or like joining a group online, or like maybe just like going out and like starting to talk to people. Because the Page of Swords is the very beginning of kind of getting your groove back, in terms of being able to communicate and feeling confident enough to just walk up to somebody and be like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? How's your day going? This is also encouraging you to just start having communication and connections with people on a daily basis without any strings or expectations attached. So this need for you to be able to move forward, and like maybe when you're going about your day and you're walking to work, or you're out at the store or whatever, you say hi to people. Like, it wants you to start just engaging with women again and breaking out of this idea that somebody's just going to show up and like land in your lap. Like, that's not how this is going to work. It wants you to break down this energy and just start talking to people. I also see like the Page of Swords can be like a younger person who comes into your life. So it can be like a Gemini or a Libra. It can be an Aquarius. But it's definitely getting you curious, getting you to think about, well, what else is out there? Who else can I talk to? What other interests do I have? Things like that. Especially when it comes to like you just feeling like you can learn to just chat with people. Like, I love the Page and the Knight of Swords, because I feel like this is the guy who can walk up to anybody in any situation, walk up to a woman and be like, oh, what's that you're reading? Or, oh, like, what kind of a coffee are you drinking? Or, oh, that's a really interesting, like shirt that you're wearing. It's just getting you into the habit of communicating and connecting with people and being curious, and not being attached to whether or not somebody's going to be open to talking to you, not being attached to whether or not they're going to think you're a weirdo. Just interacting with people again, because whatever happened in this situation, to me, it seems like emotionally you got shut down, or somebody didn't communicate with you very well, or they didn't validate your feelings, or maybe there was some sense of you not getting a chance to really tell that person how you feel. And so in the process of whatever happened, where you're still thinking about them, daydreaming, wondering if they're going to come back, you're losing a sense of like really needing to engage with somebody, and being around someone who can like really give you attention, and like the attention that you deserve. So please, please, please heed my advice. If you can, think about like mantras. You can light incense, you can meditate. There can be like chants and things that you can do regularly. We want to work with the element of air, of just kind of restructuring the thought patterns to be able to move forward. So hopefully that's helpful for you, Kurt. Let me know. We've got Rachel Studebaker. The list is not too long. We've only got Rachel. So if you want to hop on the list, you can send a super chat, or you can send a PayPal. If you send a PayPal, just let me know. You'll be next in the queue. Let's go ahead and switch decks. So what does Rachel need to know about work and love? And Sam, I'm going to get to you next. Sorry, I'm just not seeing your message. So don't worry, you're next. Work and love. There she is. Five of Wands. Don't worry, Sam, I got you. I'll be right with you. Five of Wands, Ace of Wands, Knight of Swords. Five of Wands makes me feel like there's been some friction recently, like almost feeling like you're coming up against like funky energies where things are pushing you to change. Five of Wands is usually a card that comes up that talks about combativeness, like needing to clear the air, needing to defend yourself, needing to kind of like push things or people off. Okay, I could see that, the Ace of Wands. I mean, honestly, To me, this seems like you've been going through a clearing. Like these are cards that are talking more about your relationship stuff. But I can definitely see the Five of Wands as like working hard, pushing through things. Like there's been a lot of emphasis on what's going on with your work, getting ahead, being able to be the best, being able to like be the last man standing. Ace of Wands, that's more of a sexy card. Ace of Wands talks about new passion, new opportunities sexually and creatively. You know, if Ace of Cups came up, I'd be like, oh, it looks like there's a potential for a relationship. This is a sex card. That's what this is. It talks about your sexual energies starting to ramp up, hot and heavy. Opportunities for new, passionate kind of connections. It can be with the fire sign. It can be during the month of August. It also talks about really within the next month that these energies are going to kind of heat up. Then you have the Knight of Swords. I was just talking about the Knight of Swords. I was like, I love him. Like, this is somebody who's like very communicative. They're really chatty. They'll come over. They'll hit you up. They'll be like, what's up? They're assertive, right? So it can be an air sign. It can also be somebody who like comes forward and says to you, what's your deal? What are you up to? You know, like what are you interested in? Like they'll kind of play 21 questions with you a little bit. Be mindful that with Knights, you know, they're dedicated to their cause. They rush in, they rush out. There's some aspect of them being quick. I do feel like that's not really what you're looking for. I don't see you looking for something that's just going to be like a hit it and quit it situation. I think that you're looking for something that's going to be fun, playful, adventurous. I also see it as something where perhaps maybe you're just more communicative, that like somebody's really going to have to like pursue you and you're playing hard to get a little bit. And part of what's so sexy and attractive about this connection that you're going to make is that there's a really strong intellectual like thing. There's a lot of banter, right? So it's like whether that person's just like aggressively pursuing you, texting you, calling you, like hitting you up and you're like, not now, I'm busy. Like play hard to get, like make them work for it a little bit. Five of Wands says you got to kind of put up a little bit of a fight. You can't make it easy. I do believe with that Ace of Wands, it does talk about something really coming full circle, and that will be coming full circle later in the beginning of 2022. So you're starting a new 6-month period. I also feel like it's about that instant spark, that connection, and it may not necessarily be a situation where you're like, I'm looking for the nice guy. Like, no, this is not nice guy energy. This is a guy who's a little nasty in a good way, a little playful, somebody who also is going to be very forward with what it is that they want from you physically, what they're attracted to. There's some spice here. There could definitely be a little bit of like verbal sparring and going back and forth. It might be a guy who you meet and he kind of rubs you the wrong way and you're like, I like that. He's not like a pushover. Look for this within about 4 to 5 weeks. I do see someone like that coming in. You really do deserve to spend the tail end of the summer and even the end of this year allowing yourself to be romanced, have a little fun, maybe even some travel that's involved with this connection. You'll know that it's him also because he may be very fixated on writing, communicating. He may be involved in contracts. He may be really into his car. Like Knights usually are really particular about their vehicles and how they travel and all that fun stuff. So you'll have to let me know, but it does look like it's good, and it looks like, you know, the work stuff is it's going to be something that you're working through. Like there's still some aspect, even though it's a new job, where you're really having to kind of hold your own and prove yourself against other people. So don't let yourself get distracted. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know. I love that Ace of Wands, girl. I love it. Sam, I'm back for you. Work, friends, love. And trust where it's taken. Sure, we can do that. We can do that. Work, friends, love. Literally all of that. The Lovers card comes up with the Fool reverse and the Eight of Wands. Yes, the name is Candace, also known as Candace. Just anything but candy. That's a no-go. So here's what I see, Sam. The Lovers card coming up with the Fool reverse and the Eight of Wands. It is cautioning you to be careful, to not make the same mistakes again, to not assume that all lovers are friends and that all friends are lovers. Okay, so let me bring this over here so you can see this better. The Lovers card talks about Gemini, duality, choices, going back and forth between two. From what I remember, you have a lot of Sag in your chart, so the next a month or so, like now that we've got Mars and Venus in Virgo, making some funky angles to some of your placements, definitely a lot of sorting and sifting and going through and being like, is this person my friend? Is this person my friend? Or is this person like worthy of a relationship or being something more than friends? Like, I would say be careful mixing business and pleasure. Be mindful of a very sexy and often like mysterious or kind of like whimsical person who comes in that may be like the Fool. They may be a traveler. They may be like a vagabond. This may be somebody who's a little eccentric. They're visiting for a little bit. You have an opportunity for like a really sexy, steamy, like close encounter. But it's like, they're like, oh, no. Like, I'm just passing through. Like, be careful, be mindful of this. I definitely think that it can bring somebody in who can change your perspective. It can get you open to the idea of romance. It can be somebody who is just as interested in some of your more kind of weird and wacky interests, like with the Lovers and the Fool. I feel like it's somebody who's just like totally jives with all of your very unusual interests if you have very specific interests. But the Fool card reverse also talks about being careful and not possibly falling off the ledge. So with that and the Eight of Wands, lots of sexy energy, things moving quickly, maybe perhaps meeting somebody who's either at a distance and they agree to come visit you, meeting somebody who's passing through and they're like, here's a crazy idea. Why don't you come with me? Let's go to frickin', I don't know, Zimbabwe, wherever. But be mindful that this person doesn't necessarily make me feel like they're going to stay for very long. So be careful not getting too intertwined or kind of wrapped up in like whatever their grandiose plan is and where they're going, unless you're looking for an adventure. Could it be fun and sexy? Sure, absolutely. Eight of Wands is kind of on par with that Ace of Wands energy, an opportunity for a quick sexual connection, the energy shifting very quickly. To me, it seems like the person comes in more to offer friendship. The person comes in more to get you kind of romanticized with the idea that the energy in your life can change very quickly and that people come in on a dime and it can change your whole perspective. I do feel like part of the reason for them to come in is also to get you more so interested with the idea of being mobile, traveling, going other places. Once again, you got a lot of Sag in your chart. So part of what you're learning is to be flexible, especially in this lifetime, and being willing to go a little bit deeper with the North Node in Gemini, thinking about what's going on in the, ethereal realm, what's going on in your dream space, what's going on psychologically. This is the guy who comes through town and like offers you like a really hot one-night stand and a bag of mushrooms, and you're like, that'll do. So don't get too attached. Definitely be open to what shifts for you energetically. I also feel like there can be lots of opportunities to go and do things physically, like going hiking, going outside, being in nature, being inspired, dancing. These kinds of things, you guys might have that in common. But the Lovers card is also indicating there's another person. So it's almost like this is the person that comes that opens you up and gets you ready for someone else. Hopefully that's helpful. Let me know. Those are some fun cards. I have not seen that combination in a while. Whenever I do, I always giggle because that mage always comes through, man. And those of you guys who know anything about mages, they're good for some things. Not everything, but they're good for some things. All right. Uh-oh. I see a battle royale. There's another Candace in the chat. There can only be one. Candace. Sam, it could be somebody, it could be lovers from the past. That is possible. That is very possible. But I see it as even if it is somebody from the past who comes through, it's going to deliver another person shortly after. Let me know if those party favors come through. Candace asks, I have a question about romantic love situations. Well, Candace, let me tell you what the cards have to say for you. Let me see, Kristen. Yeah, it looks like we got her. me just reload this. But yes. Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead and ask me your question. Yeah? Okay, sorry, I'm kind of catching up. Where is she? Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to find you. Thank you for reminding me. Otherwise, sometimes I lose people in the swarm. There you are. Hey, girl, I feel like my career is finally taking off, but wholly exhausted, overwhelmed. I know a lot of people, fuck the haters, felt a nasty energy, which is hard for me to overcome. So we've got Kristen and then we've got Candace. Candace, stay on standby. I've got you. Thank you guys for your patience. I assume that's you, CB. I'll be with you in just a second. So let's see what's up with this nasty energy for you. Whoa. Honestly, this is the clearing that needs to happen. This is the clearing that needs to happen. So this is for you, Kristen. I'll be with you in just a second, Candace, okay? These are not bad cards at all. 10 of Cups, Ace of Cups, 3 of Swords reversed. It's a clearing out. I hate to be like this. It's interesting that you say like screw the haters and feeling overwhelmed, but there's something going on right now where it's really saying like there's a need to vibrate higher. Positive card, overcoming, healing, moving out of grief. 10 of Cups is about emotional fulfillment, what you want at the end of the day. What's the long-term plan emotionally? How do you want to feel? Being in that state of mind. Happy life, happy family, happy home front, right? Filling your cup, feeling totally emotionally fulfilled. And so if that's the goal, right? Like that's where you're going. Like there's some need for you to be really focusing on that, especially when it comes to like the direction that you're going on in regards to your relationship and family planning, whether this is like hoping to be able to start a family, hoping to have a healthy relationship, your relationship with your family, your home base, anything like that. I mean, I kind of get the impression that with the Ace of Cups, it's like there may be certain people or situations around you that energetically are limiting your ability to expand into that in the future, okay? Especially for those of you guys who have planets in the mid degrees of the fixed signs, or, you know, the Pluto and Scorpio generation, the Pluto and Leo generation, getting hit really hard with some of these squares and this incoming new moon. The Ace of Cups is a complete emotional renewal. I also feel like there's a need maybe for you to take a bath and like clear some of that energy out, you know, some salt, some hyssop, maybe some coconut, like whatever you got to do to just clear that out and start new, especially because we're coming into a dark moon. So depending on where the moon is right now, let me look. The moon's the last degrees of Cancer. So you got some time here before this new moon. Like tonight and even tomorrow going into the evening is really great for banishing work. When you want to just clear everything out. Lots of water, lots of fluids. Ace of Cups obviously is emotions, whether this is crying, clearing. Certainly with the Ace of Cups and the 3 of Swords reversed is some kind of like emotional release. Some need to just like let it all out, but a lot of this may be compounded. I also feel like there can be like this huge kind of divide that's going on in your life right now where you've got some people who are doing like all like the happy family stuff, the relationships, very committed, having the family, the kids, the whole 9 yards. And then people who are just like constantly like in a misery loves company kind of like vibe. And then here you are in the middle with the Ace of Cups. It's just like, well, I've got some people that are already kind of happy and living their lives and their situations are working well. And then I've got other people around me who are just like not doing well. If you're having to weigh both of these options, sometimes it's not A or B, sometimes it's C, kind of going your own way. Be mindful of who you are around energetically, how they respond to things, what they're putting into the environment, how you feel around them. Like, and it's okay to get emotional because you can't take some of these people with you. Part of this is like a real kind of shedding of skin and like the realization that there is some compounded grief that you've been dealing with for some time, but once you release that, there's going to be some kind of renewal. I can see your feelings maybe getting hurt, being in a situation where you're like, man, I thought these people were cool. I thought these people had my back. I thought we were friends. I thought we were family. I thought we were over this. Like whatever is coming up right now needs to be cleared in the next like 2 or 3 days, because the reality is that the intentions and the energies that are being set up from this new moon are going to play out really for the immediate next 28 days. Lots of rubbing up against each other, friction, lots of fixed signs are having to deal with stuff they don't want to deal with. And the Three of Swords tells me that if it's not released now, it's going to come out later, and it's going to be even more painful and more challenging to end. So this is kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off, banishing it, have a new start, but these old energies keep coming up. Yeah, I mean, because it's all compounded. So it's like, honestly, have your moment, take the next 2 or 3 days, clear it out, make a list of all of the things that you no longer want to carry with you, and just be done with it, banish it, like release it. Baths are going to help. Lots of water is going to help. Stay really, really, really well hydrated, and just be mindful that part of the goal is being able to get to a place of emotional completion, the beginning, the ending. It's interesting because you already have your end goal in mind. Part of what's happening is that you're realizing that you have to clear house in order to get there, and you've already seen it. You know you've seen it, or you've been told, or you've had dreams that it's coming, but some people around you are not going to support your glow up. It's just not happening, and it's not because of anything with you personally. It's just some of these people are literally not capable of being able to maintain the vibration that you need, and that sucks. That's really challenging. But I also feel like there's something really healing about kind of like people really showing you their true colors right now and having the opportunity to just be like, done. Hopefully that's helpful. Hope you feel better. Those of you guys who are just tuning in, welcome to the channel. We're doing live readings. You can get 1 card for 20, 3 for 40. Check out the links below for the PayPal. It's pinned at the top of the chat. Heading back over to Candace, or I'm going to assume that's you, CB. I felt a deep knowing, a soul level knowing about someone that she was my person and has never wavered in 3 years, but it never panned out, and now she's dating someone else. I'm so confused. Okay, let's take a look. So what do we need to know about this other person? Her being with someone else. And what we need to know. 9 of Cups, reverse, 3 of Cups, 10 of Wands. Thank you, Yuzavi. Interesting energies. Notice these are all reversed. It's not negative. It's just kind of saying this is much more internal and stuff that's still being worked out. I mean, here's the thing. Other Candace. Are you an ice or an ace? You're an ice. Okay. 9 of Cups reversed is wishing for something and sometimes it not immediately coming to fruition. Sometimes it is right person, wrong timing. And I'm not like just blowing smoke up your ass. Like that's a lot of what I'm getting with these cards. 9 of Cups is wishing for something, getting close but not completely, not getting everything that you want, not getting what you want right now, not understanding why what you want is not showing up right now. 9 of Cups reverse is also like setting your intention so high that, you know, you're still going to get the outcome you want, just not exactly the way that you manifested something. Be mindful that the 3 of Cups is coming up. That is the Lover's Triangle card. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Sometimes there being a situation where, you know, there's somebody who's stuck in the middle. With the 9 of Cups and the 3 of Cups, it makes me feel like there can be some false happiness or like some appearances that like everything's okay when it may not necessarily be super okay in the relationship. That person may also be kind of like holding a torch for you as well. But they're trying to like make the best of their situation, or that they're trying to kind of move through this and they don't really know how to get out of what they're in right now. It's almost like they're getting lessons that they need from each other because like they need to go through those trials before ultimately it comes back around. I see the 10 of Wands reverse is also saying don't give up hope. That right at the very end, it may be a situation where like, you know, the dam breaks and the person comes back to you and you end up engaging with them. I do feel like with the 10 of Wands reverse, it is this warning that's like, don't get all the way to the end and then give up on them, because that might be when they actually come around. There also might be another person for you. I mean, 3 of Cups reverse and the 9 of Cups is like reminding you that you are very capable of love and relationships right now. It may be that it's not your time yet for each other. I also get the feeling like there can be some reconnection that can happen after October of this year, and when and if and ultimately or inevitably some kind of change happens. The Ten of Wands reverse can be somebody suddenly moving or moving on, moving away, moving out. Like, look for these themes. Like, if you connect with that person and you find that there's issues, or I hate to say even infidelity in that relationship, it can lead to somebody moving out. I've seen Three of Cups reversed with the Three of Wands a million times, where it's like the way that you find out that that person is single is they're like, well, yeah, we had a big breakup and that person just moved out. And you're like, oh, okay, well, so you're single now? Something like that may ultimately come up at the end of this year. I would look for that, especially after October. Pay attention after October. And the Nine of Cups still says you're going to get what you want, whether that's an opportunity to reconnect, or it's going to get that moment for you to be able to explain how you feel. But right now, because that person's energy seems a little confused or not completely wholeheartedly committed to that person, at least privately, there is still a window that is open, but they need to go through their shit first. And it's like, you don't want to take up with this person until they've really cleared that out and they've made a decision. Otherwise, you're still going to end up being with somebody who's wavering. Hopefully that was helpful. All right. Plans to pursue my PhD. Ooh, I like that. Making boss moves. 2022 PhD program. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Thank you, Elle. Appreciate that. Generosity. You are next in my queue. Don't give up hope. Trust me, you want all of that person, Miss CB, not part of them. There's a reason why you're waiting. So let's take a look at this 2022 PhD program and what the cards have to say for you. It looks like there's been some like redirecting going on. It's like, I don't know if you've gone back and forth with this and like been deciding whether or not you're actually going to move forward. Good night, Sam. Thanks for joining us. And kind of like being disappointed that there's been some stalls or some delays, and really kind of like picking yourself up by the bootstraps and like realizing like, if this is going to happen, I have to actually make it happen. Four of Cups reversed is like this reminder to yourself that you can't stay in a funk. You actually have to come up with a plan and get things moving. Page of Swords is great because it's like starting the process of the application, taking the tests, being able to test into things, looking at schools, picking the program, the very beginning process of that, and coming back around to it, or coming back around to like, no matter what I do, I keep realizing like this is the path for me and I just need to like get on with it. It may also be something that, you have wanted to do since you were a little kid, or maybe when you were younger, you always dreamed of like, being this, doctor or whatever it's a doctorate of. Page of Swords is very cerebral. It's intellectual. It deals with a lot of information, facts, writing, documents, paperwork, communication, even like psychological stuff. With the Six of Cups, it makes me wonder, is this more like you following your childhood dream, or is this like you working with youth or working with children, or is it about you dreaming and like reminiscing about how you always wanted to be in this profession? Because to me, it seems like it's the dream that's carrying all of this forward, this idea that's like, wouldn't it be amazing to be this when I grow up? But now you're grown up and you're still thinking about it. So you're realizing like, no matter what you do, you keep coming back around to this, and you're not going to feel fulfilled until you get the show on the road. It also might be that there was like a school you always wanted to go to, or a specific place you always wanted to apply to, and if you haven't done it, or if you've been delayed in doing so, or if you've been frustrated and not getting the results that you wanted, this is going to begin to move forward. Application due. Oh, cool. So it's literally language and children. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, like, this is a sure shoe-in. I think it's really good for you. I think also that there's something really magical about this, because to me it doesn't seem like super crazy, like brainy. It seems like really being able to communicate and connect with children, and really having a love for being able to share with children. It may even be children who have like developmental issues or like delayed speech, because I see like the Six of Cups is like being kids who have like emotional challenges or things that keep them from really opening up and blossoming. And because you have this passion for being able to help younger people, you're going to do very, very well in this profession. I do think that this talks about 6 months time, and then you're going to get some kind of like an answer or a response or something. So be looking for that right around maybe February of 2022. And I do think that you are going to move forward with the program. And I'm glad to see that there was all kinds of shifts that have happened with you recently, especially emotionally, with like getting the ball rolling. It looks really awesome. And it's so cool to see like the tarot like quite literally say like, oh, this is what you're going to be, you know, going to school for, and this is going to be your specialty. Super awesome. Even to this day, 14 years of reading tarot, I see that and I, like, my eyes light up, because I'm like, oh my God, it's so literal. Such a great job for you. You'll have to let me know how the application goes. I'm excited to see you move forward with it. Definitely a huge change in mood, because now you're going to see the momentum, you know? Is it a country abroad? Yeah, but it's going to cost. You're going to have to pay for it. You could do it. I feel like you'll find something that's going to be closer in the new year. And if you do decide to make a bigger shift because you're Virgo rising, that would be something that you would have to start the process of in September, and you would get the results in March. So you could. Hey guys, those of you guys who are just tuning in, I'm happy to pull cards for you. All you got to do is just either check out the PayPal link or check out the Super Chat. $20 for 1 card, $40 for 3. I'm going to see L. L, it's nice to see you again. Will he contact me? He's an Aquarius. You got to put foil on your head and like wait for Aquariuses to receive your signal. Take a look. So will he contact her again? Oof. To me, it seems like it's a bit of a waiting game. Two of Wands is like not really getting a clear read on him, or like wondering if he's open to reconnecting. Four of Swords makes me feel like it's somebody who's going through a bit of a funk emotionally, not feeling so hot, sleeping a lot, not communicating well, taking a break. It can also like represent somebody who's just like not really great at getting back to you in general. Not that they're icing you out, but it's like, I see you as the Two of Wands, like reverse waiting and being like, am I going to hear from him? Is he thinking about me? Like, what's going on? And then there's this person who's like either asleep or in la la land, and they don't realize that you're waiting on them. I would also say don't reach out. I know that that seems like it's really challenging right now, or it's really hard for you like not to reach. But with the Two of Wands and the Four of Swords reversed, it's kind of saying like, if you sit here and you wait, you're going to be waiting for some time, 2 to 4 weeks, perhaps. There may be some aspect also of like this person like not physically having their phone on, in a sense of the sound. Like sometimes I see this card come up as like, I was sleeping, or my phone was on silent, or, you know, I've put everything on silent because I'm overwhelmed and getting back to people. These cards don't strike me as cards that come up when they don't want to talk to you. It's more when they're overwhelmed and they're not really open to communicating, especially by simple terms like texting or even like calling. Like they're just not into it right now. I also kind of feel like you need to ask yourself, whatever the regardless of the situation is with this person, do you want to be in a relationship or involved with somebody who is not very considerate when it comes to responding? Now, some people would argue and be like, we don't owe anybody a response. Okay, I'm sure I'll get one of those at some point. Somebody always says something like that. But in this situation, it's like there's been a lot of back and forth, or there's been some aspect of either seeing each other or reaching out, or there's been some kind of communication or contact, and you've put the ball in his court. I don't even see anybody like really giving you a response as to whether or not they're okay. It's like, to me, it seems like radio silence. So to some extent, it's like if you don't get a response, then I would say take a step back, because to me, it seems like there's somebody who's either really overwhelmed and having an issue communicating, or it's a situation where they're just not prioritizing like getting back to you. And to me, it seems like it's rather inconsiderate, and also somebody who's doing it because they're kind of like hermiting out and they don't know how to deal with things right now, or they're thinking about things and letting things kind of process before they respond. That, or they're intentionally not responding because they want to leave that door open when they decide that they're ready, but never, you know, I don't seem to thrilled with the idea that you're sitting around waiting and that they're just kind of like, yeah, I'll get back to them like whenever I want. I'm going to leave the door open, like, you know, whenever I'm ready. Like, that's pretty poor communication. Sorry to hear that, but yeah, it could be about, you know, 2 to 4 weeks. Usually four of swords can be a maximum of about 4 weeks. Okay, I think we're all caught up here. I'm going to call last call on the readings. If you have a reading, you can pick it up through the PayPal link. Check it out in the chat box. You can also do that through Super Chat. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a night. But I'll be back, actually. I'll be back on Monday. I'm going to do a video talking about what's coming up for the astrology for the next week. Be talking a little bit about what's been going on recently. We've had some funky energy. Mars has been squaring the nodes. I think I touched on that a little bit. And we're just going to be coming out of this new moon in Leo and getting ready to kick off the next week, which hopefully is not going to be as hectic as this last one has. Although I know that it's just a big ball of fun in the month of August before things calm down a little bit towards the end of 2021. I can't believe we're already halfway through August. It's crazy. Next week, I will be back on Friday. We're going to be doing astrology questions. So it will be any one question, or you can ask questions about synastry. So check out all of my scheduled events. I have them all set up for the month so you can see when I'm going to be on, so you can catch me. And don't forget to check out also my podcast with the Peace Dealer that I do, the Midheaven podcast. We have a new one that comes out every Monday. Got some juicy new topics coming out for you guys soon. If you liked this session, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. By subscribing and liking, it helps expand my channel on YouTube and bring in more people. It's really helpful. I love seeing your guys' comments and all of your little nitbits. It's fun to interact with you in the chat, also online. If you like my reading style, if you want to book a reading with me, check out my links below. You can get on my books. I practice Western astrology, predictive methods, all kinds of different stuff. I've got some openings starting in September. I'm usually booked out about 6 to 8 weeks in advance. The holidays are coming up soon. It's going to be super busy. So if you have some questions, get on my schedule. I'm happy to chat with you. Combination readings of tarot, astrology, and clairvoyant readings. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. I will rep all of the Candaces. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for tuning in. I will see all of you guys very soon. Enjoy the rest of your night and have a very fun weekend. Take care.